Now in this lecture, we are going to talk about force and motion. Don't worry, this is not a physics class. This is a topic covered under section 349 and 350 of the Indian Penal Code. The word force is just a 5-letter word, but it has been explained so extensively in criminal law. That's the beauty of law. Anyways, so section 349 defines the term force and section 350 talks about the offense of criminal force. Let's talk about section 349 first. Before I explain what force is, let's discuss the features or characteristics of force. There are 3 characteristics of force. First, force causes motion. Here by motion I mean movement. For example, a football is kept on the ground, you come and kick the football starts moving. So we can say force causes motion, right? Second characteristic, force seizes or stops the motion. For example, a football is running towards you. You step on the football and the football stops. So we can say force causes cessation of motion. Third and last characteristics of force is that it causes to change the motion of the object. This means the force can cause to change the speed or direction of the object. For example, if a football is moving slowly towards you and you come and kick on it, the football will start moving fast now. Same way, if the football is moving fast, you can slow it down by causing some obstruction. Likewise, you can deflect football into a different direction, right? So these are the 3 important characteristics of force. Now, I used the above examples in relation to an object which was a football. But under criminal law, the term force is used in relation to a person. That means to make it an offense, force must be applied on a person and not on any object. As per the definition of section 349, a person is said to use force to other if he does 2 kinds of actions in 3 ways. Let us see what these 2 actions in 3 ways are. Action 1, causing motion or cessation of motion or change of motion to a person. This means if a person causes motion, change of motion or cessation of motion to the other person, then it will amount to force. For example, if a person is moving and you hold him tightly so that he cannot move, this is force because there is a cessation of motion here. Similarly, if you push a person, it will amount to force and it will cause motion or change in motion of that person. Clear? Action 2, causing motion or cessation of motion or change of motion to a substance. Now in this situation, the motion, change of motion or cessation of motion is caused to a substance rather than to a person, so as to bring that substance into contact with any part of the other person's body or the clothes he is wearing or carrying, or with anything so situated that such contact affects that other sense of feeling. For example, Mr. X throws red chili powder in the eyes of Mr. Y, causing him a strong burning sensation in his eyes. This will amount to force. Here Mr. X did not even touch the body of Mr. Y, but what he did was he caused motion to the substance, which was the red chili powder, to the body of Mr. Y. Similarly, if Mr. X throws a stone in the water and the water gets splashed on the clothes of Mr. Y, it will amount to force. Take one more example. Z is bathing using a shower. A pours boiling water into the water tank. Here A causes such motion in the boiling water as brings that water into contact with Z's body or with other water so situated that such contact must affect Z's sense of feeling. A has therefore used force to Z. Now section 349 further says that motion, cessation of motion or change of motion should be caused by a person by his own bodily power, number 1. Number 2, by disposing any substance in such a manner that the motion, cessation of motion and change of motion takes place without any further act on his part or on the part of any other person. Third, by inducing any animal to move, change its motion or to cease to move. Now let me give you some examples which will make the entire definition of force quite clear. First example, Z is sitting in a moved boat on a river. Mood boat is basically a boat tied with a rope to prevent it from flowing away with water. You can see the picture of mood boat on your screen. Now, Z is sitting in a mood boat on a river and A unfastens the mooring. That means he opens up the rope with which the boat was tied and thus intentionally causes the boat to drift down the stream. Here A intentionally causes motion to Z, and he does this by disposing substances in such a manner that when he unfastens the moorings, the motion is produced without any other action on any person's part. Second example, Z is riding a chariot. A lashes horses and thereby causes them to quicken their pace. A has caused change of motion to Z by inducing the animals to change their motion. A has therefore used force to Z. Example number 3. Z is riding in a palanquin. A seizes the pole and stops the palanquin. Here A has caused cessation of motion to Z, and he has done this by his own bodily power. A has therefore used force to Z. Example 4. A pushes Z in the street. Here A has, by his own bodily power, moved his own person so as to bring it into the contact with Z. He has therefore used force on Z. Example 5. A intentionally pulls up a woman's veil. Here A uses force to her. Example 6. A incites a dog to spring upon Z. Here A has used force to Z. Alright, I hope the definition of force is clear to you. Now, having understood the meaning of force, it is important to remember that force itself is not an offense. As you see on Holi festival, everyone is applying colors on each other. So in a way, they are using force on each other, but then it is not an offense, right? So force itself is not an offense, but it becomes offense under certain circumstances, which is covered under section 350. Section 350 talks about criminal force. According to section 350, force becomes an offense in 4 conditions. First, intention. If the force is used intentionally against a person, it will be an offense. Second, consent. If force is used without the consent of the person on whom it is applied, it will be an offense. Third, commission of crime. If force is used to commit an offense, it will be an offense under this code. Fourth, causing injury, fear, or annoyance. If force is used with the intention to cause fear, injury, or annoyance to the person on whom it is applied, it will amount to offense under IPC. So all the examples that I used under section 349 are not an offense by itself, but if the force is applied in these 4 conditions, then all such examples will amount to crime as per section 350 of IPC. Hope it is clear to you all.